Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm host of my 31. Sorry I didn't get to a truck video. I just do not like this track. It goes back to, I think it was 1999 when was it Madam Petty passed away and they put restrictor plates on the car and Jeff Burton got the pole and it was a parade for like the whole race. Nobody could pass anybody. It followed the leader. It was horrible. At a time where it rained a little bit, but they didn't stop the cars, and Kyle Busch like crashed, and we all had him in DFS lineups as like the primary dominator. And then he ran into the back of the pace car because he was mad about it. And then they ended the race, and it resumed on Monday. Last year, there's caution after caution because of weather, and they tried the weather tires. It's just I don't like the conditions here. I just don't like the fact that it's in the playoffs, and it's nothing against the people of New England or New Hampshire or really the track itself. I think in a different context at a different time, it would be a little bit better. But the truck race wasn't super bad yesterday, so hopefully there's some good things here. So if you're playing FL today, we did a video, McKinley and I last night, so check that out on the channel also. And a great day to join FSI. Go to the description of the video and you can get to the link to our website, to our pricing page. For $6 today, you can play NASCAR, you can play NFL football, you can play soccer, or you can play Major League Baseball. I'll have the Sunday night game covered on there too for football and usually baseball if there is one. I think next week there isn't, but this week is the last one of the season, and the playoffs are coming soon. So lots of cool things there. So, anyways, looking at this one, it's the second round of the playoffs. We eliminated four drivers last week. So right now, below the cut line are Cindric, Chastain, Reddick, and Logano. Briscoe is a little bit, or no, actually, it's not. Wallace and Elliott are a little bit above the cut line. Briscoe is about 10 points above the cut line, and then about 20 points above the cut line are Bell, Larson, Hamlin, Byron, and Blaney, which by no means make them safe, but it does help them out a little bit. So that's where we're at there. The guys in blue are the ones that did the tire testing here. They tried to bring us softer tires so there'd be a fall off. So Logano, Chastain, and Christopher Bell were the three manufacturer representatives to test out the tire. So Logano obviously took advantage of it. He was out there and got the pole. I didn't really love his speed in practice. I didn't hate it. Logano's Logano, and he really hasn't been like out there like he's won races, but he just hasn't been a dominating car. And his price is back up to 10K. And I think they knew that like the testing, like the Fords would be strong here, the Toyotas have been strong here just based on how many races that they've won here recently in New Hampshire and their success on short flat tracks. So it makes sense, but I think he's more of a GPP play for me because I think Blaney, who's starting second, who was number one in 10 lap average and just really, really strong, always has good fall off, always has good long run speed, is going to be the one that's going to be probably the primary dominator here. And it's kind of up for grabs here because we don't have the Truexes anymore. We don't have the Eric Almirola's anymore. We don't have the Kurt Bushes anymore. We don't have a good Kyle Busch anymore, who was dominant out here. Your two best short flat track guys are Hamlin, who's still pretty good, and Larson, who's been on the struggle bus recently. And last week was like probably the best chance for him to do really well at a track, and it just didn't come together. So I think that these Fords are good here. I don't mind on both sides playing Logano and Blaney in even in cash games. I think it could work out with how hard it is to pass and how good the Fords have been here. But don't discount Barry. Barry is even though he's a subsidiary of Penske, I don't think he's out there like testing. This track is similar to Phoenix, and that's where Logano had his last success pretty much early in the season. And I think all of them were pretty good at Iowa, which was a comparable track also. But Barry was like he's not in the playoffs anymore. I know he had a rough start, but he looked really good out there. His numbers were really close to Blaney's. And I think at the price, like I think that if you're going two Doms, like I don't hate going Blaney and Barry, and it helps you get some of those expensive place differential people in there and a nice balanced lineup. Reddick, I think, is a good upside dominator here. He did have some good long run speed. The short run speed, I just don't know. There's been a lot of cautions here, but a lot of them with weather, and there shouldn't be a factor here. but we'll have to see that. So Reddick's, I think, in play. I don't love him on short flat tracks, but I think he definitely has the upside here. And again, like with being on the outside looking in, is he going to try to play it safe and go for points the first couple of rounds to survive in advance to try to hope that one of the other ones that's close to the cut line gets in trouble? And if just running a conservative, safe race in the top five and getting good finishing positions in stages and at the end of the race is better than going out there and trying to win this thing. Plus, 87 is not a bad price tag for him. So I don't think you need dominator points, but I think I don't know. It's just up in the air there. Toyota's good here, so I think that bodes well for him also. Then we have William Byron here, who is right now pretty safe. Again, points will help. The Chevys haven't been as great here. He's been okay on short flat tracks, but had second best 10 lap average out there. So I think there's upside for him to go out there and dominate, but you're gonna need him to probably at his price tag to make it work. Closifar, I think it's a GPP. I was thinking about a fade, but like he sometimes like hangs out in like comparable tracks. He hasn't been bad. I think he can probably finish in the top 15 at 72. I by far for 200 more prefer Barry, or I think Bowman. Has a little bit more floor, but Hosafar had much better practice time than Bowman. So I think these are both GPP plays. Bowman, I just put the upside dominator just because I think he maybe could surprise us. Chastain, I think it's the same thing as Reddick here, but he's in a Chevy and they haven't performed as well here. Short flacks have been my projection has him around like 27, which is like a 3x value. So I think it's a GPP play. He's always a wild card. And again, he did the tire test here, but I thought I'd see more in practice. And the X in the far column for Bowman just remind me that he didn't really have great long runs. So if he's got short run speed or something, he might be okay. But I don't know about him overall. Maybe we'll just maybe I'll take it off when I post it for the subs and just only have like two upside dominators there. So Chastain again, I think it's a GPP. I think with the price tag, um, I like other players. Their drivers definitely in this range that have better place differential. Hamlin, 11K, another one, another tough choice here. Very good at these tracks. I can see he doesn't always qualify well, but then the car usually has good long run speed. Toyotas have been strong here. So, oh, actually, I do have four Dominators. So let me, that's an easy fix. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, that makes more sense. Um, with Byron and Reddick being the upside dominators and all the rest of them being GPPs in the top 10. And then Hamlin definitely being another choice for a dominator. It's going to be hard to get him in. You're going to have to sacrifice probably one of the good place differential plays, but there is some decent value starting in the 30s. If they can stay on the lead lap, it's not like a short track where they're in danger like right away. But on a shorter track. If the if it goes green for a while, then the back of the field could potentially start falling down a couple laps. Van Ginsbergen qualified really well here. More of a road course guy. I just the 20th for 10 lap average. I just think he's falling backwards. McDowell, he was out with the first group, and I keep on saying I hate having two different practice groups because Group A always has better long runs or better like 10 lap averages. It seems just like with the track condition that they inherit um, versus the second group usually. So McDowell, he's okay. I just don't think, again, I don't really like the Chevys here. I don't really think anything's popping. He's starting a little bit too far forward, so GPP for me. Allmendinger, same thing. Like he did have some good fall off in and I just don't know if that's just like the road course experience or whatever that helps him like manage the tires. He was good in his Xfinity managing tires, so I think he's viable, but in the 6K range, I'm saving a couple $100 and you can give me Eric Jones or John Hunter Nemechek, who are in Toyotas in a legacy team that's starting to find some speed and hitting their stride and have a great opportunity for place differential to gain versus lose where AJ is. Ty Gibbs, I know he's in the Toyota camp, but this isn't a style of track that he's decent on. I keep on hoping that he eventually gets his first win, and I know like he wasn't with the playoff drivers, so he was like um, his 10 lap average looked good, but I didn't really like the fall off after that. If you look more on down the line and into the data a little bit deeper, so a GPP for me here. Bubba Wallace, I'm gonna put him in the 100K. Toyota, I think he's got upside. He's just above the cut line, so that concerns me mildly. But that's why I think he makes a perfect GPP. I think this is a good track style for him. I like kind of his starting position. I think he's starting too far up to get a bunch of ownership. His ownership should be low, but I think on name recognition, that's why he gets like the medium and the pricing's fair. So I think that's a good recipe for it to be a 100K driver. Busher, RFK cars have been strong here, but Busher is not the best on short flats. Didn't really like his long run speed, so he's okay if you're building like a Ford stack or something here. But in cash games, I'm not going to touch it. Kyle Larson, you're probably like maybe astounded why I have 100K on him because I think that's the perfect place to play him. I have the fear of missing out that he's good on short flats and he's got to put it together eventually. And maybe the summer funk is ending because today's like I think tomorrow's first official day of fall. So, maybe this is the end of the summer slump and in the fall he starts to catch fire and this is the time. It's go time. There's oftentimes like if you looked at like professional teams that have won championships, they kind of sleepwalk through the season and turn on the postseason, but sometimes it takes them a while to get going because they were going only at half speed, going through the motions, and to get like things back to like full tilt. It takes a bit, and maybe that's what's going on here. I'm not sure, but I think that makes him the perfect driver just to play one lineup in the top GPP or in GPP. Throw Larson in with if you're missing out. I love pairing him with Bubba Wallace. I'll talk about Gillian when we get to him down there, and then throw in some of the chop plays to give you the floor that we're looking for. And I still think the ownership on Larson is going to be high, but I don't think it's going to be as high as some of the other ones. So I think that will give you the leverage that you still need in the 100K tournament. Kozlowski, I like in cash. He's almost at 4.5x, which is good, like great at tire wear tracks. The 10 lap average wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. So I think, and the fall off after that, he was moving up closer to the top 20 than out of the top 20. So I think he's always a safe play for that. Briscoe, amazing playoffs and season so far. He's been qualifying really well, but then falling down, but then he's been winning races also. But he kind of struggled in practice here. So he's going to be GPP for me. Uh, like at the pricing, I just don't see him getting up there and dominating with Blaney and Hamlin. And if Larson puts it together and if Bell gets it going, and like I said, Barry up there, I think there's too many mouths to feed to try to get the dominating points that you need. I just don't think this is the track or the setup from what I've seen that's going to get it done. So definitely put him in your mass multi entering pools in a 20 entry max. I have one or two lineups with him in it just in case, but other than that, kind of lead him on the table. Bell, prime play here. Love the upside here. He has been a dominator here. I finished like fourth last year here. He's fifth in, I think, 22 and just really, really runs well here. I know he doesn't show up in the 10 life average. That's fine. If you take, I think they were just working on some things in practice. He did the testing here. It looked towards the end of the practice like his numbers were better, so that he's got it figured out. I think the setup's right here. I think it's set up for like a long run more than just go out there for a fast lap for qualifying. which I'm perfectly fine with. I think he will knife his way through the field and he will be up there. And I think even at 11, to being the most expensive driver, I do expect at some point for him to get out there and get the lead and get some dominating points. If he doesn't, I still think with the place differential and a good finish up there, that he will be able to pay off his price tag. Um, but if not, I've got another option for you, so stay tuned. Zane Smith and Justin Haley starting a little far forward maybe here, but again, I think that they are pretty strong. Zane's in a Ford. He's got a lot of talent, and his 10 lap average wasn't quite in the top 20. But again, like some of these other drivers, if you looked beyond that, they're with I don't know if they made adjustments or things, but later on, like the numbers were better than initially. And then Justin Haley had a lot of speed out there. Now, I Hoyd would put in Haley as a prime again because like his price is amazing and he always projects really well for point per dollar. And but the last couple weeks it just hasn't worked out. So I'm gonna give him the cash tag. I'm not gonna give him the prime tag. And I think that he's got some floor for cash at the price. But I do understand if you're hesitant to play him again with his current form and the fact that he can definitely get some negative place differential there. Cindric, I think, has some upside also, kind of the forgotten Penske car at times. I think there's place differential here. Didn't but maybe like with the Penske team, they sent him out with like after doing the tire test, they sent him out with a variety of different setups, and Cindric's wasn't the same. So maybe with the other two up there, they'll make the adjustments, and I think he'll be fine. I think he'll get some place differential, and that it'll work out for him, and that even though he's like on the outside looking in, I think that he's not one that's going to play like super conservative. I think that they do have the car and the team for it to be able to get place differential and make it up there. And even if they're just hanging out for stage points and not trying to win the race, you're still, if they're up in the top 10 getting stage points, have at least 12 place differential points, which is perfectly fine for me. Uh, Priest, love him here. Like I said, the RFK cars, the Fords, like Bush was struggling a little bit, but Kozlowski is solid. Ryan Priest runs well in short flats. He's good with tire wear tracks. He's got the place differential, 11 and 10 lap average. Everything points in the right direction. So, really, really like that here. Kyle Busch, he was good at this track. He's not anymore. We have seen him spin out quite often. Wouldn't be surprised if he's the cause for the first or second caution here. Just continues to struggle. I don't know what happened, but like Father Time's undefeated. Maybe it's age catching up. I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad move to come to Childress, but he was struggling with Gibbs at the end and claiming sabotage and stuff. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the rest of the field's caught up to him. It just hopefully Larson's not starting the same downward trend. But again, a GPP for me, I'm not going to put him as a fade, even though he looked like a turtle in practice and has not looked good in current form and has not looked good on this track in the last couple of years since the whole ran into the wall because of the rain and then ran into the back of the pace car to let NASCAR know he wasn't happy that they didn't flag the race sooner. Um, so I'll let you decide what you want to do with him. If he does figure it out, like there's some place differential there, I'm darn sure he's not going to win the race. But could he have a solid day? Yes, like it's within the range of outcomes, but I think it's more limited than um, logical. Perps didn't really like what I saw here. I know he's out with like the first group for practice, so I think his 20 lap average was a little inflated, but after that, he did start to have some more negative fall off. So I really, even though the Toyotas have been decent here, I'm super interested here. I gave him the GPV because I think he's a little bit far forward, so I don't think he's going to lose a lap right away, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't finish the race on the lead lap here. Not the week I want to play him. Jones, solid play here. I think they just have been like solidly making more and more strides and getting better and better and stronger. And I think it bode well for next year. And I think it's like Jimmy Johnson, like coming out of like racing and actually focusing more. We saw that with Jordan Anderson racing when he stopped like racing like every single week and in other series and stuff, and actually started being there and focusing and like helping to manage the team that he owns. And I think we're seeing some of the same fruits of the labors from Jimmy Johnson and Legacy Motor Club here, and I think Jarek Jones is good on tire wear. It's a decent track for him, and solid cash play 63. Chase Elliott, if you don't feel that you can play Christopher Bell because if he doesn't get up there and dominate, you can save $2,000 by playing Chase Elliott as the prime play over Bell. I'm fine with that. He's going to give you 8 more potential place differential points if he's moving up. He was eighth in 10 lap average. He just didn't qualify well. He's above the cut line. So will he be conservative? But again, I think if they're conservative, you're looking at them being in the top 10 and trying to get stage points, which means that he already has 17 place differential points. If he's a minimum the top 10, that's a great day. 9,200 is a great price. He's got the highest price per dollar. I think I like Bell's upside better just based on his track history here. I really don't see Elliott in any of the previous since 2018. I don't think he's been in an optimal lineup, but I think he's definitely a very strong floor play here. I like the price and everything else. So if you, but it's hard to get like a Blaney, a Bell, and an Elliott all in the lineup. And I think you're again, there's value down here. You can work it out. But like in trying to make those builds, I ended up in no man's land and really couldn't land on a lineup that I really, really liked. So I think it's going to be one or the other. But we'll see how things shake out. Dylan, I think the GPP is upside. He's out of the playoffs now, so that pressure's off, and just go out there and race. And so he doesn't have to test or anything for another RCR car because they're both out of it. So just can't just go out there and race, and I think he's fine at GPP. I like the $300 savings on John Hunter Nemechek. Same thing as Jones. Good at tire wear. He's just gone out there and not qualified well, but they've made the adjustments through the race. He has actually had some really good finishes. If I forget what his average finish is this year, but it's just astounding. Just based on like how volatile he was in trucks and in Xfinity. Checker record guy, not any longer. He is leaning more towards like Alex Bowman. He's not out there like with a dark horse shot to win a race, but it's just kind of a blue collar lunchbox guy goes and does his job, does a solid 8 hours, punches out and goes home to the family and has a good productive day at work, but nothing flashy. Ty Dillon, GVP here. I think he's falling backwards. I almost put the fade on him. Not a ton of upside here. All the rest of these cars were top 15 in the next four here. I like all of them. Like Custer, Ford definitely has some upside. Projection is a little bit low, I think, here, but I'm okay with that. Suarez, for Trackhouse, racing for a job. Now that Sven Ginsburg is out, I don't think all the resources are probably going to Chastain, who's still in it, but I don't think it's going to be like bottom of the barrel where like he's the only one that was not like if you're not in the playoffs and the rest of your drivers are and you're like the research and development guy. I don't think that's the case here. Looked good in practice. Just didn't qualify well, has a lot of upside at 6K. Tire wear, not my tire wear track, but I think if there are long runs that he'll be fine and be able to have some long run speed. No, Grayson, love him down here. Also, the aggressiveness, it's an Ford. Just didn't qualify well. I think he'll be highly owned as like the value play down here, but I feel comfortable putting the prime tag on him. And then Stenhouse, if you need $300 more and you don't trust Gregson, Stenhouse has been pretty good at the track and short flats, and I think has some upside also. If you can't quite get to Grayson with your build, then Stenhouse on fine being the prime play. It's a very similar situation. And then Cody wears a fade for me. And Todd Gillian was one of the worst cars in practice also. And it's obviously had the setup wrong. It's a Ford. Front row is a good team. Like Zane Smith looked decent. Gregson looked decent in practice, even though he's down here. So I think he's perfect for 100K, and I think he's perfect for GPPs and not a fade for this reason. He cannot fall any further backwards. He's going to get at least 5 points. And his team probably went after practice and qualifying to the rest of the front row guys or to the Ford family, maybe Penske, and said, "Hey, help us out here." They can completely go and change the setup on this car. It's going to be an unapproved adjustment, but who cares? Already starting dead last. Can't fall as long as they don't do anything that's going to be illegal and get them disqualified or a fine, then they should be able to garner from all these Fords that had success out there how to go and reset up the car. And it's got to be better than it currently is. And I think, the Cody Ware with Kyle Busch spinning out a couple times, you know, he definitely through attrition can probably get into the top 30. I don't think he's like a below 30 place car if I look at like all the data and everything, even though he did struggle in practice here and his current form isn't great. I think that he has the upside. Now, obviously, in cash games, I like House more. I really like probably Custer more. I really, really like if I can get $1,000 more playing the legacy cars more. But if you have to play them in cash as last man in, I'm fine with it. Um, if you feel like Smith and Haley are starting too far forward for your tastes and you like the floor of Gillian starting dead last, um, I'm fine with that. And in GPTs, definitely, but he, I think, is a perfect one to pair with Wallace and Larson in the 100K lineup. I'd probably go Logano or Blaney up there too as a dominator in that one and fill in the rest with prime plays or cash plays with solid floor. And that's how I'm going to build. So that's what I got for you. We have, I think, 6 more weeks after this. Um, it's the first week of November. It's like November 2nd is the last race of the season in Phoenix this year, the day the time changes for everybody but Phoenix, Arizona, which is kind of ironic, because Arizona doesn't do time changes. And then we all get an extra hour of sleep to build our lineups that day. So, but I appreciate you watching the season and still sticking along out with us. So, thanks for doing that. If your videos help us back, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends. And if you want more information on FSI DFS, like I said, go into the description of the video. You can go to the link for our website. There's a free link to our Discord. The Discord's free to get into. The actual NASCAR Premium Room is paid, but it's very, very cheap. Check out the pricing page for that. Um, like $5 for the whole weekend. It's not that expensive at all. And next week I'll probably have like a super super low rate for like the rest of the season that you can just throw in there if you wanted the rest of the six races. So I'll get that out. So check that out too. Um, maybe I'll put like 10 or $15 for like the rest of the season, like half price or like 66% off or something. But anyways, so you have those options there. And in the Discord, there is an NASCAR pool room that's completely free. If I don't do videos or if you have questions and stuff, once I take care of the paying subs, I still go in there. Sometimes I'll throw in the prime, sometimes I'll throw in the whole sheet. I don't throw in the cores, but it's enough to help you build if you don't have enough time to if I don't have video to help you. So that's an option for you. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time.